Good day everyone, this is team 152 Market View presentation, and our team have three members, which are Dai, Jeff, and Jimmy. Here let me first introduce the structure of our Market View presentation. There are three components of our Market View presentation, which are fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and trading strategy designed based on the analysis. And based on the instructions, the two pairs of currency chosen are US dollars against GBP and Australian dollars against US dollars. The first component of our market view report is the fundamental analysis, which focuses on the study of the macroeconomic factor of the nations that issue the currency and aim to analyze the intrinsic value of the currency. Here, the three macroeconomic factors we analyzed are relative interest rate, relative inflation rate, and relative economic growth rate. First macroeconomic factor is relative interest rate, and here are the interest rate in three nations. The Federal Reserve System acts as the central bank of the United States of America, and based on board meeting report released by Federal Reserve, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System decided to raise the interest rate paid on the required and excess reserve balance to 1.5% in 2017 December meeting, and then remain unchanged in 2018 January meeting. But the Governors Board decided to increase the interest rate to 1.75% in 2018 March meeting. Bank of England is the central bank of the United Kingdom, and the central bank interest rate in UK is called the bank rate and set by the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee. Based on the monetary policy meeting in December 2017, the bank rate is decided at 0.5%, and February and March meeting decided to maintain the bank rate unchanged. Australia Central Bank is the Reserve Bank of Australia, and the cash rate, which is the overnight money market interest rate, is set by RBA. Based on RBA cash rate meeting in February, March, and April, the committee decided to maintain the cash rate at 1.5 unchanged. As a conclusion, UK and Australia's rate remains unchanged during the last several months, and USA Central Bank interest rate increased by 0.25% in March, which have a positive influence on USD's intrinsic value. Now let me pass the host to our second member, Dai, and he will introduce the rest of fundamental analysis.
Thanks for Jimmy. Now let me introduce the second macroeconomic factor, the relative inflation rate, which is represented by customer price index. The inflation rate is collected and calculated by the value of statistics in these three nations. For United States of America, it's the value of labor statistics, and based on customer price index report released, the January 2018 CPI for USA is at 0.5% and then decreased to 0.2% in February 2018, then further decreased to negative 0.1% in March 2018. UK's National Statistics Office also released the customer price inflation report, and according to December 2017, January 2018, and February 2018's report, the annualized CPI in December 2017 is 2.7, and its January CPI remains unchanged. Then it decreased to 2.5% in February. Then, based on Australia Bureau of Statistics Customer Price Index report, the October to December 2017 all-group CPI is 0.6%, and the June to September quarter CPI remains unchanged at 0.6%. Based on relative inflation rate analysis, Australia's inflation rate remains unchanged, and USA's inflation rate decreased during the last several months, which means from relative inflation rates point of view, GBP and USD would have appreciation pressure. The last economic factor is the relative economic growth rate, which is represented by GDP growth rate, and the quarterly GDP growth rates are corrected for these three nationals, and Quarter 1 2018's report has not been released, so the Quarter 3 and 4 2017 are analyzed according to the National Income and Product Accounts report released by Bureau of Economic Analysis of USA. The annualized GDP growth rate for Quarter 3 is 3.2% and decreased to 2.9% in Quarter 4, and the UK's National Statistics Office report shows 2017 Quarter 3's GDP growth rate is 0.5% and then decreased to 0.4% in Quarter 4. Then, according to the Australia National Accounts report released by Australia Bureau of Statistics, the 2017 Quarter 3 and Quarter 4's GDP growth rate remains unchanged at 0.6%. UK and USA's GDP growth rates decreased from Quarter 3 to Quarter 4 2017, and Australia's GDP growth rate remains unchanged, but GDP's growth rate have ambiguous influence on exchange rate movement. So here the income side influence is analyzed, which means UK and USA's relatively long economic growth rate would have positive influence on their currency valuation. Now allow me to introduce our last team member, Jeff, to give the presentation of second and third components of our market value report.
Thanks for that. Now allow me to present the technical analysis component of our market view report. In this report, we focus more on the fundamentals analysis since it is the main techniques introduced in this subject. For technical analysis, we only adopt the moving average method and the support and the resistance level. However, this one will not be introduced in this presentation, but it will be adopted during the dealing session for detailed trade strategy. Here it shows the exchange rate movement for GBP and USD, and the blue line is the 50 days moving average line, which shows the upward trade from January to April, and then showing downtrend at the start of April, which suggests the GBP would depreciate against the USD in the near future. And then the exchange movement for AUD and USD, it is obviously the 50 days moving average line shows a downward trend in April, which suggests the AUD would depreciate against the USD in the near future. Now, based on all the fundamental and the technical analysis, we can from our forecasting and trading strategy based on relative interest rate, since USA has relatively higher interest rate, lower inflation rate, so suggest the USD would apply against the GBP in the future. Also, the technical analysis shows the USD would apply against the GBP, so our trading strategy is take a long position on USD against the GBP. For AUD and USD, since USD has relatively higher interest rate, lower inflation rate, and lower economic growth rate, for income side influence on chart. So fundamental analysis suggests the USD would apply against the AUD. Also, the technical analysis shows application pressure on USD against AUD. So our trading strategy for this pair of currencies long USD against AUD. Thanks for listening.